Right, hello everyone. We're getting the camera figured out, but I'm just gonna go ahead and start. Oh, look at that. That was easy. Just making sure that all of you can hear me okay. Okay, wonderful. So I want to welcome you all to our next yoga Nidra time to be together this evening. And actually, I've been digging deep. I'm thinking yoga therapy because I've just been digging deep into yoga nidra as a powerful way of practicing yoga therapy. So the idea of yoga therapy actually is that the way that I approach it is that your body is constantly trying to heal itself. It knows how to heal itself. And with practices like Yoga Nidra, really what we're doing is we are removing the obstructions in the way of the body healing itself. And some of these obstructions can be physical. It can be injuries that we've had, ways that we've held our body over long periods of time that have created compromised energy flow in certain areas. So, and some of the obstructions that are created in our body are a result of mental and emotional habit patterns that we've created. And the idea is that whether these blocks, if you will, in the body are created by physical injury or mental and emotional patterns, we can clear them with the use of Yoga Nidra. And so today, what we're going to be focusing on is just giving space for the body to create its own healing, trusting that the body knows how to heal itself, whether it's at the mental and emotional level or at the physical level. We're just trusting that the body, and when we free the energy in the body, it knows what to do, where to go, how to carry out any healing that it needs. So today, as we go into the teaching, as I go into Yoga Nidra with you, I'm going to be guiding you through just a process of just becoming aware of your physical body. And maybe there's an event, maybe it was today, or an area of pain that you have in your body, maybe something that's just feels like it's not quite finished for you, an old event or a new event. So I'll be guiding you in that. And so right now, just take a moment to close your eyes, if you would. And just see, first of all, if there's a situation for you that feels incomplete. And it might be interaction that you had recently, or something that's in your mind, maybe a worry or a fear that you have. Or maybe it's a pain, a physical pain that you feel, a chronic pain that you feel. And just noticing which one of those comes into your awareness. And if it's a physical situation, you're just going to notice where you feel that physical pain. But if it's in a mental or emotional worry, just notice as you think about that situation or circumstance, notice where you feel it in your body. Maybe you feel it in your heart or in your gut. Just notice where it is for you. And as we go into the Yoga Nidra today, we will be working with a technique called the energetic diffusion technique to help this feeling begin to clear through your body. So just right now, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and know that whatever came up for you, that's what we'll have you work with today as we go into the Yoga Nidra. But before we go there, I just wanted to explain a little bit more about energy blocks. So as we said, some of them are physical blocks or injuries. But even around physical injuries, something that you might notice is that as your body is beginning to heal from the injury, there's fear that comes up in the mind. So let's say that you hurt your back, and as your back is continuing to heal, even when it's completely healed, you may be aware of subtle mental and emotional tensions that have gathered around that area. So you might notice, for example, that even though the back is healed, you have fear about doing certain poses, fear about making certain movements. So the body has healed, but there's like protective tensions that have gathered around that area of the body. So yoga nidra is actually a really good way to help clear kind of those subtle mental and emotional fears that have gathered around the injury itself or the imbalance itself, to help the body again optimally heal itself. So that's number one. Number two is these mental and emotional blocks that we talked about. These are often created by feelings that we resist on a regular basis. So we all have different personalities. We were all brought up in different environments. And some of us have a comfort or a discomfort with certain feelings. So some of us feel comfortable being sad. Others of us are comfortable being angry. So that's what we're comfortable with, but we all also have things that we're not comfortable with. So just to be very general, I think of Italians as being very comfortable with showing their emotions and their fire, right? Whereas someone with my background, more of an Asian, Indian background, we're not taught to be comfortable with our anger. And so whatever it is that we are uncomfortable with, instead of allowing those feelings to flow through our system, we unconsciously, without even being aware of it, we tend to shut it down. And we try to be nice all the time. We try to be sweet all the time, whatever it is. And so those feelings can consistently get shut off within us, and therefore they don't fully clear the system. So imagine that an emotion is like water, and that water is trying to move through your system. And if you feel, for example, the feeling of sadness, that's like water that's allowed to be felt. You feel the sadness, the tears maybe come up, and it clears through the system. But if you're afraid of feeling sad, instead of allowing those feelings to be felt, to come up and clear through the system, what do? We shut it down. We put up a wall. And so now, instead of that water being able to clear through the system, it hits the wall. And that water is really the energy of the emotion. And so instead of that water clearing through, it hits the wall, and that water starts to go into a circular holding pattern. So there's a law of energy, a law of thermodynamics, that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It simply changes form, okay? And so what happens is when there are emotions, which are really energies, that we don't feel, that we don't allow ourselves to feel, when we put this wall up, what happens is that this emotion doesn't just disappear because we don't want to feel it. It goes into a holding pattern. And that holding pattern slowly moves into density. So that when new things come in, when there's an old unresolved feeling, the new information hits up against the old stuff and we get re-triggered. So a way to know that we have unfinished emotional stuff is that we're often hypersensitive. We overreact to situations. So an example of this might be, maybe you have an unresolved block around feeling not good enough, or like you never measure up, all right? And you never quite integrated that through your system. So that's circling around in your system as an unresolved energy block. And then somebody comes in very innocently and says, you made some spelling mistakes on your website, right? You redid your whole website and they pointed out that you made 3 spelling mistakes on your website. Well, if you had no issue around that, you would just be like, oh, thanks for letting me know. But if you have an unresolved energy block around feeling not good enough, like you don't measure up, you might react to somebody trying to be helpful. You might overreact, right? You'll be hypersensitive. And even if you don't say it to them, in your mind you'll be like, well, thanks very much. you'll be overly defensive, but it's not so much about them necessarily, it's about our own unresolved energy block. So today, as I guide you through the Nidra, I'm going to be guiding you through this process that's called the energetic diffusion technique. We'll start with it. I'll be having you bring either a pain in your body or a situation into your mind. And instead of shutting down to that sensation in your body, I'm going to ask you to breathe with it, to relax with it, to feel it, and to kind of take down that wall and allow the energy of that sensation in your body to begin to flow. And then we will use the rest of the Nidra to help integrate, reintegrate, allow that energy now to flow freely through the body and to create healing and balance wherever it needs to happen. Right. So with that in mind, let's just begin with a little bit of preparation. If you have your space set up, go ahead and lie down, but don't cover yourself. We'll start with just a few stretches lying on the back. Just take a moment to get yourself situated. All right, so those of you who are lying down, just begin by bringing your knees into your chest and just wrapping your arms around your knees to your comfort level. And let's just begin by taking a little bit of a rock from right to left. And just giving the low back a little bit of a massage. Maybe even circling the knees. And then clasping the right knee into the chest as you extend the left leg on the floor. Just feeling that subtle release in the low back. And then go ahead and straighten that right leg. You can interlace your fingers around behind the right thigh, straightening the leg, the foot up towards the ceiling. So you feel a stretch, there you go, in the back of the leg. That's it. And just taking a couple of breaths here. You don't want to feel too much stretch, but just enough. And begin to anchor your attention in the sensation in the back of the leg or wherever you feel the opening. And circling the foot one way. And circling the foot the other way. And then bringing that knee back into the chest. And then cross that knee over the body, creating a knee down twist. So twist that right knee over the body, using your left hand to support the twist. There you go. If you like, you can look over your right shoulder. Just make this comfortable for you. Paying attention to the low back. Breathing into the low back. And letting go more fully with each exhalation. And then slowly coming back to center, centering the hips. And then lengthening that right leg on the floor. And we'll repeat this whole thing on the left side, bringing the left knee into the chest. And just first clasping the knee to the chest, inviting the low back to release into the floor or the bed beneath you. And then straightening the left leg, extending the foot towards the ceiling. And first, just pay attention to the opening in the back of the leg. Taking some full breaths in and out. And then beginning to circle the foot at the ankle, just circling the foot in one direction. And then circling in the other direction. Just taking your time. And then go ahead and bend the knee, bringing the knee back into the chest, and then crossing the knee over the body, using the right hand to support the opening. You can look over the left shoulder if you wish. And just making any adjustments to this opening so that it works for your body. Breathing deeply into the belly. And letting go more fully with each exhalation. And then slowly coming back to center, centering the hips. And now keeping the knees bent, keep the knees bent, the feet are flat on the floor. And I'm going to have you inhale and just lift the hips off the floor a little bit as you inhale. And as you exhale, release the hips down to the floor. So we're just lifting up the lower back. Inhale, lift the hips up a little bit. That's it. And exhaling, rolling down one vertebra at a time. And continuing on your own, inhaling as you lift the low back, the sacrum, and exhaling as you release one vertebra at a time. And just doing this as slowly and as mindfully as you can. Inhaling and exhaling. And this time, as you press the feet into the floor, lift the hips and just hold for like 3 breaths. Keep the hips lifted, taking 3 full belly breaths. And see if you can allow the body to be fully engaged without inducing tension in the mind. And then slowly releasing all the way down. Release the hips, release the legs one vertebra at a time. Relax the legs to the floor. The legs are straight. And just feel the effect. And now when you're ready, go ahead and prepare yourself. Perhaps placing some height under the knees or some padding under the head. I'm glad to see you're covering yourself with blankets. That's great. If you'd like to place something over your eyes, you're welcome to. And you can go ahead and cover your arms. And then when you're ready, close your eyes and quiet your mind. Be still. Let go of all thoughts, worry, and tension. Give yourself fully to a higher power. Relax, trust, and let go. Breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. And again, breathe in fully. Let go even more. And feel a sense of peace and contentment begin to wash over you. Trusting that whatever is ready to be released at this time will be released spontaneously and effortlessly. Let go of any effort or struggle to make anything happen. Now simply bring into your awareness a situation that feels incomplete. Feel it fully, making it very real for you, as if you were in the middle of it right now. If you don't have a situation, bring your attention to a place in your body where you feel pain, constriction, or where you don't feel anything at all. If you're working with a situation, just notice where you feel that event in your body. If it's in more than one place, just notice the place that's drawing your attention the most. Breathe into that place. Use the breath to simply be with the sensation that's there, whether physically or emotionally, energetically based. Not trying to make it go away. Just using the breath to be with it. As if to say to it, it's okay that you're here. I'm willing to feel you. And simply observe what you're aware of now. If the sensation moves or changes, stay with it. Not trying to avoid any part of the experience. Letting it be without trying to change anything. It just is. Breathe with it. Stay with it. And simply observe what you're aware of now. Cultivating a sense of relaxation in the midst of all of it. Stay present and be interested and curious about what you're feeling. If you notice yourself moving into avoidance, breathe and come back to an openness to what you're feeling. Continue to use your breath and attention to be with it all just as it is. Observe what's happening now. If the sensation moves or changes, follow it patiently and easefully. Remove yourself from any tendency to control or resist. It just needs to be acknowledged. Now bring your attention to the third eye, the point between the eyebrows. And drop below whatever's happening into a space of silence. Whether the sensation has shifted or not, allow integration to happen with where you are now. As we enter further into Yoga Nidra, any releases, shifts, and changes that need to take place will happen spontaneously and effortlessly. Now it is time for your body to rest deeply. Let go of any need to make anything happen. Now follow my guidance as we take 3 deep breaths. Ready? Let's inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. And when prompted by the inner urge of the body, release the breath slow and steady. Breathing normally. Second breath now, inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. Allow tension to build, holding a bit longer but without strength. When prompted, release fully, expelling from the body what it no longer needs. Breathing normally. Allowing deep-seated tensions to leave the body with each outgoing breath. Third breath. Inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. Holding even longer now, but without strain. Remain the neutral observer. When prompted, release the breath, letting it all go until there's nothing left. Breathing normally. Simply observing the breath, rising and falling in its own rhythm. The breath becoming progressively quieter and more still until it's almost impossible to detect. Feel yourself descending down into the stillness beneath the mind. All excess tension and holding carried out with each exhaling breath. Feel your outward attention moving inward. Now, as we enter this next phase of Yoga Nidra, remain as motionless as possible. If you need to move or make an adjustment, do so mindfully and return to stillness as soon as you're able. Resolve to remain awake, staying in touch with the sound of my voice. Simply allow your entire body to respond to my words directly and non-mentally. Allow any disturbances, external or internal, to draw you more deeply within. In Yoga Nidra, you enter the subconscious field of prana, energy. Let your mind merge and melt into the energy body and go beyond the boundaries of body and mind. Now shift from thinking and doing to feeling and being. Do absolutely nothing from now on. Drop into the deepest state of tranquility, stillness, and peace in the third eye, brow center. Now your consciousness is in direct communion with your energy body. As you breathe in through your nose, fill your lungs fully and completely without strain. On your next exhaling breath, exhale as if blowing through a straw, emptying the lungs completely. Inhaling through the nose, exhale through a straw. Continue on your own. Breathe in completely. And breathe out through the straw without strain. Each time you exhale, empty your mind of all anticipations, the body of all tensions. As you inhale, fill your heart with joy. Continue to breathe with constant attention and detached awareness. Each time you inhale, drop into a deeper level of silent awareness. Breath is calm. Mind is silent. Body is relaxed. Heart is unconditionally open. Now return to your normal breathing and turn your attention inward. Experience the powerful impact of vibratory energetic pulsations in the form of sensations in your body. Let your detached awareness embrace all experiences unconditionally. Now bring your total undivided attention to the center between the eyebrows and drop into the deepest level of silent stillness, peace, and harmony. Drop into that silent space where all doing stops. Now follow my guidance as we move awareness through different parts of the body. Let your attention rest on each body part as I name it, without comment or judgment. All 10 toes. Both ankles. Both knees. Thighs. Pelvis. Abdomen. Chest. Arms. Throat. Face. Back of the head. Shoulder blades. Spine. Buttocks. Calves. Heels. Soles of the feet. Sense the whole body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Whole body. Feel the whole body contained in vast, spacious awareness. Now, as I name each organ, feel energy moving with attention, nourishing and vitalizing each organ. Even if you don't know where the organs are, your body does. Bring your attention to the heart. Lungs. Esophagus. Left side stomach. Pancreas. Spleen. Right side liver. Gallbladder. Abdomen, adrenal glands. Kidneys. Intestines. Reproductive organs. Bladder. Now bring your whole body into awareness. Feel the whole body contained in vast, spacious awareness. Now bring your attention to a constricted or dense part of the body. Though you may not consciously recognize the cause of this feeling, the innate intelligence of your body knows how to resolve it. Breathe into this area. Make space for it. Give it room to move, loosen, disperse. Dissolving, lightening. The body releasing whatever it no longer needs. Now sense the body's healing energy streaming towards this area, attracting it like a magnet. Watch this part of your body returning to wholeness, vitality, as it is surrounded by this healing light. With each inhalation, begin to sense the body as more energy than density. Any emotions, thoughts, and fears that may have contributed to the imbalance can now be released and resolved. See and feel the whole body healed and whole. Give yourself permission to enter into the deepest level of relaxation right now. Let go. In this domain of integration, we're the witness of all that is happening, but doing nothing to make it happen. All that can never be done by your doing can happen only in the non-doing presence of your being. Feel completely safe and comfortable as you hand yourself over to the power and protection of presence. your intentions and affirmations are actualized and fulfilled with effortless ease. Allow yourself to receive the following affirmations as I repeat them. Let your whole body listen to what I say. I am free and clear of all boundaries and barriers. I am light, unburdened, and free. I feel complete freedom from managing, controlling, or needing anything outside of myself. I replace energy blocks in my body and mind with total acceptance and forgiveness. Recognize at this time that you've made a major shift in perspective. This shift will enable you to interact with yourself and with your life in a new way. The more you embody this new perspective, the more empowered you are to shape and create your own life. You are the creator of your experience of life. Feel the presence of your own spiritual guides, masters, teachers, family members who you feel connected to. Know that their presence is with you always. You can call on this presence at any time. Slowly begin to deepen your inhalations and exhalations. Just feeling the body resting on the floor. Quality of the air as it touches the skin. Take your time, there's no hurry. Now you've prepared the base and where you can carry out interactions with life and interpersonal relationships with the integrative power of love and the source within. You are the emissary of light and love. Carry it everywhere you go and to everyone you meet. If you have an area that you feel needs healing, physical, mental, or emotional, Allow this light and love to flow into that area now. Once again, deepening the breath. Sensing the body resting on the floor. The air as it touches the skin. As you feel the impulse, you can begin to move the fingers and toes, stretching the arms and legs as if waking from a restful sleep. If the impulse is to remain still, do so. Perhaps bringing the knees into the chest, gently rocking from side to side or stretching the arms and legs. If you wish, you can roll over onto your right side, taking a moment to get comfortable there. And if you wish, you can remain here or you can bring yourself up to a seated position using the strength of your hands. Just taking a moment to get comfortable as we'll sit in meditation for a few minutes. If you don't want to sit in meditation, you're welcome to remain just as you are. Simply observing how effortlessly the mind rests in a space of stillness. Rest here. Bringing a deep sense of peace and contentment with you as you bring awareness back to the physical body. And if you wish, you can rub the palms together. And then just to your comfort level, placing the fingertips on the eyelids, the hands on the face, just to your comfort level. And using the fingertips to massage the forehead. Circling the fingers at the temples. Massaging down to the joint of the jaw. And over the cheeks. Squeezing in behind the back of the neck. And maybe even the shoulders. Bringing the palms to rest in the lap. Be still and be grateful. We'll chant Om together, inhaling. Om. Again. Om. 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 Shanti. 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 The sound of Om represents waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Shanti means peace. The silence that follows Om represents Turiya, the silence behind the mind. And this is where we go as we pass through waking, through dreaming, through deep sleep, into the consciousness, the awareness that we are through Yoga Nidra. And as you're ready, you can open your eyes. And Jai Bhagwan, Namaste, everyone. Jai Bhagwan means victory to the spirits. So if you want to stay resting or in meditation, you're welcome to. But before we close today, we have a few minutes. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about the third eye. So you may have noticed that during the Yoga Nidra, I drew your attention to this point between the eyebrows. And this point, when you bring attention here, it's actually a trigger point that triggers an area in the geometric center of your brain, right above your soft palate, right above the mouth, right in the middle of your brain. And there are three major glands that are located here. The pineal gland, which releases melatonin, which helps you sleep. It also helps slow the rate at which you age. The hypothalamus is also located here. And the hypothalamus has to do with the secretion of your neurotransmitter, serotonin, dopamine, things that regulate your mood, that keep you calm. Hypothalamus is responsible for your nervous system. It's what determines if you're stressed or not, your metabolism, your body temperature, your thirst, your hunger. And then finally, the pituitary gland, which is the master gland of all your hormones. So what the yogis believed is that by bringing your attention here, you're actually stimulating the secretion of all these glands, the release of melatonin and serotonin and GABA and all these, what the yogis called the nectars. And these are naturally secreted and released during Yoga Nidra. Whatever hormones you need to balance your system, the neurotransmitters in the brain to help regulate your mood and to keep you calm. And the pineal gland, the melatonin, to keep you young and sleeping well and sleeping deeply. So that's why we bring our attention to this place. So I think that's it. I'm just going to leave. For those of you who'd like to leave, you're welcome to, but I thought I would open it up to take any questions that you might have for our last few minutes. So if you do have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself, or you can put it into the chat box and I'd be happy to answer. And if you'd rather just go off to sleep, you're welcome to do that too. I promise I won't take it personally. Anything coming to mind? All right, so then I'm going to say something. And this is when I came in, we were just chatting and I said I was talking about yoga therapy. there's something really interesting, and this is not directly related to Yoga Nidra, but it is. And I thought I'd share it with you because I was just diving deeply into it. And that has to do with our capacity to feel. So when we started, we talked about how when we don't allow ourselves to feel certain emotions, we cut them off and they become blocks. And over time, when there's less and less that we allow ourselves to feel, it's like we shut the door on certain emotions. And eventually, before we know it, we're just living in a smaller and smaller area of our life, right? So we don't let ourselves feel the pain of this or the sadness of that or anger about this. And so what happens is that actually we can become numbed out or shut down from feeling. And the more we practice a technique like Yoga Nidra, the more you're going to find that all of these two things. One is all of these old feelings, these old blocks will start to get cleared from your system. And so after a Yoga Nidra, you might feel blissful, but there may be times when you feel sad for no reason. You feel angry for no reason. You feel old emotions coming up or old memories. And know that that is actually stuff, old feelings, old stuff that's actually getting cleared out of your system. And as a result, it's almost like you're clearing your body, you're detoxifying your body of all this stuff that just makes you more available to life, more open to life, more able to receive it for what it is without the fear or the need to shut it down. So I mention this because for those of you who haven't taken training with me, sometimes we'll be like, oh my God, Yoga Nidra is, making me feel bad or it's making me feel sad. But know that what's coming is coming to go, that the Nidra is actually helping clear this out. And the particular Nidra that we did today was really designed around that. So I hope that that gives you a little bit of a sense of what Yoga Nidra can be good for, how it can be used. And unless you have any questions, I'll say good night. Anyone have anything? Okay. Well, so great to see you. I'm looking at your faces and I know a lot of you, and it's just so good to be with you again. And those who I don't know, I look forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful evening. Have a good sleep, and we'll see you next time. Jai Bhagwan, everyone.